Presented by Listen Headlines, latest world news from trusted sources.
RT World News. September 25, 1817 America, New York. Living in parallel universe, Australian PM boasts of Aussies' love of freedom to the UN as police crackdown continues at home. A viral video has contrasted Prime Minister Scott Morrison telling the UN General Assembly that Australia believes in freedom and the dignity of all people, to the Australian cops beating citizens for not wearing masks. RT World News. September 25, 1808 America, New York. Cold War-style crusade against dissenters, Lavrov roasts Biden's idea of democracy summit that divides world into us v them. Russia's foreign minister has criticized the U.S. idea to convene a leaders' summit for democracy, calling it another example of Cold War-style bloc mentality that would split the international community into us and them. New York Times World News. September 25, 1740 America, New York. New York weighs using the National Guard to replace unvaccinated healthcare workers. Governor Kathy Hochul has plans to use National Guard members and out-of-state professionals to cover staff shortages if thousands of healthcare workers fail to meet a state vaccination deadline on Monday. Healthcare workers were among the vaccine protesters gathered outside Staten Island University Hospital earlier this summer. New York Times World News. September 25, 1739 America, New York. Icelanders vote in volatile election with climate in mind. Icelanders voted Saturday in a general election dominated by climate change, with an unprecedented number of political parties likely to win parliamentary seats. Citizens voting at a sports complex on Saturday in Keflavik, Iceland.
September 25, 1736 America, New York. Federal court temporarily blocks COVID vaccine mandate for NYC teachers. We will not boost our way out of this pandemic, CDC director says. 5 things to know about booster shots. September 25, 1727 America, New York. Opinion: Biden's presidency comes down to this. President Joe Biden is facing a huge week. In the early days of his presidency, his ambitions to expand the social safety net had some people hailing him as a potential successor to Franklin Delano Roosevelt and Lyndon B. September 25, 1707 America, New York. We've got an HR problem. Lieutenant Governor on Trump's influence on GOP. Georgia Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan discusses former President Donald Trump's lingering influence in the Republican Party. September 25, 1703 America, New York. House Budget Committee votes to pass the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill. The House Budget Committee has voted to pass the $3.5 trillion reconciliation bill out of committee and send it to the House floor. September 25, 1615 America, New York. Oldest polar bear in human care in North America dies at Milwaukee Zoo. The oldest polar bear in human care in North America died Friday, according to the Milwaukee County Zoo in Wisconsin. September 25, 1612 America, New York. Netflix teases a return to the haunted world of Stranger Things. Fans of Netflix's immensely popular horror series, Stranger Things, got their most substantial look at the upcoming 4th season of the series on Saturday. September 25, 1558 America, New York. Fact-checking Kevin McCarthy's claims on government spending under Trump. Minority Leader Kevin McCarthy has repeatedly criticized Democrats for increasing the national debt while arguing that every amount of money spent in the Trump administration was accounted for during his presidency.
Wall Street Journal World News. September 25, 1547 America, New York. Afghanistan's Taliban warn foot soldiers to behave. Men who recently spent their days in bloody battle are now frolicking in parks and the zoo, drawing admonishments from the defense minister.
Fox World News. September 25, 1538 America, New York. Merkel warns against socialist swing as Germans head to the polls. Outgoing German Chancellor Angela Merkel warned voters Saturday that a socialist government could strangulate businesses and isolate Germany on a global scale. September 25, 1537 America, New York. Del Rio port of entry in Texas to reopen more than a week after migrant surge. Migration will continue as long as inequality persists, says Haiti's prime minister as Del Rio bridge crisis ends. Carlson distorts Biden's border remarks.
World CBS News, com. September 25, 1527 America, New York. La Palma Airport forced to close as volcano continues to erupt on island. Thousands have been forced to evacuate from the island in the week since Cumbre Vieja first started erupting.
September 25, 1527 America, New York. Portland, Oregon. Police challenged in really tough environment as violence spikes. Chuck Lovell was sworn in as Portland's police chief in June 2020, not long into the pandemic and just a couple of chaos-filled weeks after George Floyd was murdered by a Minnesota police officer. September 25, 1511 America, New York. Texas Republican Congressman Brian Babin says he tested positive for COVID-19. Republican Representative Brian Babin of Texas announced Saturday that he tested positive for COVID-19.
BBC News World. September 25, 1503 America, New York. Global Citizen Live. Billie Eilish and Ed Sheeran feature in 24-hour concert. The Global Citizen Live Festival will see performances from more than 60 artists in 6 continents.
September 25, 1432 America, New York. Walmart has hired more people of color, but not at the executive or boardroom level, new report shows. People of color made up more than 55% of new hires at Walmart between February and July of this year, but none filled executive management roles or board of director vacancies, according to the company's website and its latest diversity, equity and inclusion report released Friday.
RT World News. September 25, 1432 America, New York. Dutch junior minister sacked after criticizing illogical vaccine passports. Junior Economic Affairs Minister Mona Keizer has been fired by Prime Minister Mark Rutte. Her crime? Suggesting that the country's vaccine passport scheme is illogical, and the Netherlands should go back to the old normal. New York Times World News. September 25, 1426 America, New York. North Korea dangles hopes for summit and end of war declaration. Kim Jong-un's sister responds to the South Korean leader's last attempt to put the peace process back on track, but skepticism abounds. A visitor aimed his camera at the north on Friday in Paju, near the border with North and South Korea.
PowerPost, September 25, 1425 America, New York. Leading Democrats all want to expand health care access. They just don't agree on the best way to do it. House Majority Whip James E. Clyburn, DSC, is focused on Medicaid. Senator Bernie Sanders, IVT, wants to expand Medicare, and Speaker Nancy Pelosi, D. Califf, wants to focus on the Affordable Care Act.